Sitrad installation and operation. Important: this video is didactic, showing an example of Sitrad system use. For more detailed information, specific and updated, refer to the user manual or go to the user guide on the link below in video descriptions. This training will cover the following topics. If you prefer, you can click on the topics and go to the desired section. In case of doubt, please have the latest edition of the Sitrad manual or access the user's guide on the link below in video descriptions. Overview. Sitrad is a remote management software developed and constantly updated by full gauge controls for use in installations in most varied segments to control the temperature, humidity, time, pressure and voltage data can be accessed via the internet through a computer, tablet or mobile phone. On the link below, refer to the updated list of controllers compatible with Sitrad. Network assembly. We'll be assembling a standard RS485 network for Sitrad Local, installed on the computer where it's connected the converter interface Conv32, Conv256 or TCP485. To start, you will need to have one or more controllers already installed and compatible with Sitrad. See on the link below the updated list in video description. A connection block for each controller, a terminating resistor of RS485 network 120 ohms, connection cables two-way 1.5 mm with mesh grounding. Important: according to IEC 60364 standards recommendations, the sensor and serial communication cables can be kept together, but not in the same conduit where there is electrical power and charge drive. The communication cables for Sitrad can be increased by up to 1,000 meters. A Conv32 or Conv256 and a computer that will act as a server and should remain always on. See the minimum requirements on the link below in video description. Important: according to international standards, it is recommended the use of Surge Protective Device (SPD) in 485 network installation. If in doubt, refer to the manual or access the user's guide in installation and configuration section. Assembly. Connect the cables to the ground terminals A and B of your controller. Connect the other end of the cables to the terminals of the connection block, ground A and B respectively. Repeat the same procedure to connect more than one controller. Connect the connection blocks, also connecting the ground A and B respectively to both terminals. At the end of the network, connect a register of 120 ohms to the terminals A and B. At the other end, where the network begins, connect the ground cable of the connection block to the grounding network. Interconnect the first connection block of the Conv with cables A and B. Important: throughout the network, always maintain correspondence between the terminals A and B. Inversions cause the ineffectiveness of RS485 network. Interconnect the computer and the Conv with a USB cable. Installation of Sitrad Local. Insert the CD-ROM or download Sitrad on the link below in video descriptions. When the CD-ROM is inserted, the installer automatically runs Sitrad. If you've finished the download, open the file to start the installation. Follow the on-screen instructions to install. If in doubt, refer to the manual or access the user's guide in installation and configuration section. Sitrad other modules are also available on installation CD-ROM and on the software site. Initial configuration. First step, access to Conv. With Conv connected to the computer and Sitrad running, click on Configuration and then Options. The Configuration Options box will be opened. Select the type of connection used to communicate between the Conv and the computer, in the case here, USB. Set the other options according to the picture on the side. For more information, refer to the manual or access the user's guide in the section Configuring the System. Click OK and enter the access code factory default 123. Conv is connected. Before you start configuring Sitrad, make sure the instruments have the parameter serial address different. Refer to the manuals of the controllers to learn how to alter the address parameter. Until the beginning of this training, the serial address is the last parameter of the setting list in all controllers. Linking the controllers. Click Communication and then click Start, or in the center of the screen, click on the Start button. The window search instruments will open. You can click Search All for the Sitrad scans and connects to the controllers connected to the network. The controllers found on the network appear in the model guides at the bottom of the screen. After search, click on Close. Notice that the controllers in the model guides are offline. Select a controller and click Start. The TX and RX indication lights on the top of the Conv will start flashing. Sitrad is ready to be operated. Operation. On the information panel, you see the controller panel where it is possible to check the system status, such as sensors temperature, or change the controller parameters, and in the case of TC900RI clock, we are using Drive the defrost manually. On the model guides, you see the controllers connected to their system and respective information. Setup. To change the parameters of a controller, on the Models guide, select the model and controller desired. On the Information panel, click the Setup button. Enter the access code 123. The Information panel now becomes a parameter list, where you can see the minimum and maximum values and the unit of measurement of each parameter, as well as the factory set values. Click on the value at the top of the table, enter the desired value and press Enter, or click Send. Wait a few seconds so that the value is sent to the controller. The controller display will show SPC. The new value will then appear in the selected field. Click the other parameters you want to change and repeat the process. After changing the desired parameters, click Back on the top of the screen. 5.2. Creating preset. The preset is a list of configuration parameters. With several presets created, you can quickly change the configurations of the controllers for each process within the production line. To create a preset, click on File and then click on Preset Editor. In the window, click File, New. Enter a name for your preset. Then select the controller model that will receive this preset. Below, you will see a list of parameters to configure. Select the unit of measure. Now just click on the parameters and change, as we discussed earlier. After changing all the parameters, click Save. So you can create multiple presets for faster configuration of the controllers. After create your presets, return to the Information panel. Select the controller model for which a preset was created. On the Models guide, select a controller and click the Setup button. Enter the access code 123. Now, instead of modifying parameter by parameter, simply select a preset. Click on the preset field and select the desired preset from the list below. When selecting, Sitrad will send the configuration to the controller, which will automatically modify. Click on the OK button. Your controller has a new configuration. Report. Sitrad stores information relating to the controllers. The sampling time can be changed in the menu configuration options. On database sampling, rate time, you can select the time interval Sitrad will collect information, and on the by variation box, Sitrad will store the temperature variations regardless of the sample period. Select No. After configuring, click OK. Enter the access code 123. Click on Report on the center of the screen or on File, Report Manager. On the Manager, reports can be generated in graphics, text, alarm history occurred, and alarm limits, as well as can export to spreadsheet. Graph generation. Click on File, New Report, Graph. Select the period you want to view. Select the instrument. Below, select the variables to include in the graph and click on Add. Then click the Create button. With the graph, you will have a view of temperature variations during production periods, and this graph can be saved as an image for later reference. Text report. To generate in text, the process is similar. Click on File, New Report, Text. Select the period you want to view. Select the instrument model and the station. If you need a specific sampling, use one of the filters and click on the Create button. You can view all the information stored in your instrument. Table exportation to spreadsheet. On Tools, Export Data. Select the period you want to view. On Instruments, select the option Model or Individual. On Format, select the option CSV. Select the instrument type and the instrument. Below, you can filter the data you want to export and click on Export button. Then save the file. You can open this file in any spreadsheets editing program. Alarms. Sitrad has alarm configurations that can be adjusted to emit sound and send emails in case of out-of-range parameters. Click on Menu Configuration, Virtual Alarms, Options. Mark the boxes as shown in the picture. In the field Send Email, click on the Configuration to Send button. Configure your email account. In case of doubt, consult your email provider to know the configuration data. Sitrad has an assistant for default setting of some emails. Click the icon on the port field if your provider is one of those listed. Then select and the fields will be completed automatically. Enter your email user and password and click OK. Now click on the address book and register the emails that should be advised about the alarms. Click Save. Then click Test to check for any mistake. As soon as you have confirmation that the message was sent, click OK. Mark the field Play Audio Alarm. Click the folder icon in the field below to search for an audio file to be the warning sound. Click on Test and then click OK. Now configure the temperature limits of the controllers. Select a controller on the Models Guide panel. On the information panel, Field Alarms, Alarms field, click the Virtual button. Change the parameters as needed. Some parameters for the alarm are modified in the Controller Parameters list. Click OK. From now on, when temperatures go above or below the set limit, Sitrad will notify you so you can correct the alarm condition. 8. Sitrad Remote. This remote is installed on the computers that will access the local module via Internet, so it can remotely manage the Sitrad local informations, and can be installed at home, on your PC, or in any other computer you want to have remote access to your installation. For this installation, we need an Internet connection, access to your ADSL modem, and another computer as a notebook, for example. Remote Access Manager. The Remote Access Manager is responsible for connecting the Sitrad local to the Internet and other modules. Click on File, Remote Access Manager. Click on File, Users. As this is your first login, the password for the user Super is Master. On the next screen, you should change the password. Then click OK. Let's create a new user. In the lower part of this window, click on New. Enter a user for the new user. Enter the name for this user. In Profile, select the permission level it will have when connecting to Sitrad Local. See the descriptive table with the limitations applied to each one of the user's permission level. Enter a password for this user, repeat to confirm, and click OK. We have just created a user to utilize in the Sitrad Remote and other modules. IP configuration. In the area local information, we have a traffic light showing a green signal indicating that Sitrad is online. In the IP field, we have our internal IP where Sitrad Local is hosted. In the field port 5001, the Sitrad connection port. We now need to configure the modem to allow access to our IP through port 5001. Visit the website www.portforward.com to know how to liberate the serial port of your modem. We know our internal IP and configured the port for Sitrad. Now we need our external IP. To do so, visit www.myipaddress.com. Note the number that appears in red on the screen. This is the number for external access to Sitrad via Sitrad Remote. Static and dynamic IP. If you have contracted the static IP service from your internet provider, you will not have problems. But if your IP changes daily, the Sitrad Remote loses connection. The reason is that your IP is dynamic. Then you have to install a dynamic DNS program or contract the static IP service. There are several free programs available on the market, such as Dying DNS and NoIP. Then install one of these programs on the computer where there is Sitrad Local. These programs provide a subdomain addressing, which we will use in place of the IP. Connecting the Sitrad Remote. Using another computer, access the Sitrad site to download the Sitrad Remote. Click on Download and select the option I've already known. Enter your email, mark the option Update and click OK. Then select remote.exe or remote.zip. Click Run and follow the installation as shown in the picture. Once completed, start the remote Sitrad. On the Windows servers, click Add. Enter a name for your connection. Enter the external IP in case you have static IP, or enter the DDNS subdomain. On port, select 5001 and click OK. Now select the newly created server and click Connect. Enter the user and password we have created on Sitrad Local and click OK. You now have access to the same features of Sitrad Local, with the ease of remote access via internet, and from other computer and another place. If you do not get a connection, check about firewall and antivirus, because they can block the access to your network ports. For this, consult the manufacturer. Sitrad Mobile. Sitrad Mobile is a module installed on smartphones or other common mobile phones, which enables the remote managing of Sitrad local informations, with the facilities of smartphone providing mobility to access at any time, especially when the alarms are configured to notify you. For installation, we'll need a smartphone or any other mobile internet connected compatible with Sitrad Mobile. Internet connection, Wi-Fi or 3G and Edge. On Sitrad Local, click on File, Remote Access Manager. On the Manager window, click on File, Settings. Note that Sitrad directs the mobile access to port 5010. We need to access the modem again. Repeat the process of creating the port for Sitrad Local, but now add the port 5010 for mobile and direct it to the same IP of 5001. From the browser on your smartphone, visit sitradmobile.com or, using a code reader, read the code on the site. Complete the registration, then download and install on your mobile phone. Configuration. Open the application and click on Configuration at the top of the screen. In Server Options, click on New Server. Enter a name for description of the server, enter the external IP in case you have static IP, or enter the DDNS subdomain. On port, maintain 5010. Connection of the remote is similar to the connection of mobile, the only difference is the port. Click Save. Back to the home screen, select the server newly registered and click Connect. Enter the username and password you created earlier on Sitrad Local and used on Sitrad Remote, then click OK. In the next window, you will see the instruments connected to Sitrad Local. Operation. Select one of the instruments. The information panel will open with the main items. On the lower part of the screen, we have the Options button. By clicking, you will have access to the information panel, where we were previously, the parameter list. Simply select the gear on the right side of the parameter to open the page and change the parameter. After changing the value, click OK to return to the list. Returning to My Options. We still have options to generate graph. More options. In the case of our instrument, we can drive the defrost. And change status, where we can disable the instrument, following for maintenance or communication to activate it. Sitrad Viewer. With Sitrad Viewer, you have a remote monitoring central and can view multiple installations on one screen. With another computer, access the Sitrad site to download the Sitrad Viewer. Click on Download and select the option I've already know. Enter your email. Mark the option Update and click OK. Then select viewer.exe or viewer.zip. Click Run. Follow the installation as shown in the picture. Then complete and run the Sitrad Viewer. Click File, New, A window will open to create a data file for Sitrad Viewer, where will be recorded the information of the server, server groups and instrument. Select a local and enter a name, then save it. After saving, click the menu Server, Add Server. On the Servers window, repeat the same process as previous. Server name, external IP of Sitrad Local, port 5001. Enter the username and password, then click OK. The server icon will appear on the left bar with the given name. Click with the right mouse button and then click Connect. The center of the screen will display the controllers installed in the Sitrad Local Remote Monitored. Viewer allows you to create multiple configuration files with groupings of instruments to facilitate monitoring. You can also send these files to the client, and when he opens them, he will see the instruments without the need to configure the server. In case of any doubt, refer to the Sitrad manual or access the user's guide on the link below in video descriptions. Sitrad, management via internet.